Hello. Today we are going to be graphing quadrilaterals and triangles and then finding the area from the graph. Now, I think you all remember how to graph an ordered pair. The first number in the ordered pair is a horizontal measurement, and the second one is a vertical measurement. So let's go to this page here. We have a little packet for today. We're going to first plot the points, connect the dots to make a quadrilateral or a triangle. Then once you see the shape, you're going to write the formula. If it's a triangle, you'll do area equals base times height divided by 2. Substitution means you're going to replace the values for the variables and then get an answer. And you will be allowed to use a calculator on this. All right, so let's start by graphing these problems on the coordinate plane. 0, 0. -9, 0. Now, this is -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's this one right here. Then -3, -3. -3, 1, 2, 3, -3, and then 6, -3. This one is 6, 1, 2, 3. All right, this looks like it's a parallelogram when you connect the dots. Sometimes it is hard with these little graphs to get everything so you see your parallelogram. So it's a parallelogram. The formula for the area of the parallelogram is A equals base times height. You all remember that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so the base, how long is this? Count the number of line segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the base is 9. The height is the distance between the parallel lines here. So if this is 9, what's the distance from here to here? 1, 2, 3. The height is 3. So A equals 9 times 3, and the answer 27 units squared. The little 2 means we are measuring squares. So if you counted the squares and could take the little halves and put them together, you would have 27. Any questions on that? Okay, in the next one, it tells you, yes?
Are we going to have to graph the problems on a test like this?
There, it has been done before, yes. So what you do is you click on the point, there's like a dot, and then you place it here, and then you click it again on the when you do it on the computer, and then you graph it, and then you have to do other things after you graph it. Now this one, it tells us is going to be a triangle. -6, -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's the -5. -10, -5. And -6, -2. All right, this is a right triangle. And I'm going to say this is the base and this is the height. Triangle for formula, area equals base times height divided by 2. Now the substitution, our base is 1, 2, 3, 4. So area equals 4 times the height, 1, 2, 3, divided by 2. Well, 12 divided by 2 is 6 units squared. Any questions? Now we're going to do a trapezoid, and then I'm going to let you do some by yourself. Are you pretty good with this? Okay, so here we go. Over 5 up 2. Negative 5, 2. Negative 5, 2. 1, 7 over 1, up 7, and 5, 7 over 5, up to 7. And it says it's a trapezoid. Now, a trapezoid has two B's, and those are the lines that are parallel to one another. And the height is the perpendicular difference between the two bases. So, these are going to be my B1 and B2. It doesn't matter which one you label B1, which one is B2, but those are the parallel lines. So these are going to be your B1 and B2. So, let's write the formula for a trapezoid. Area of a trapezoid. And I think this formula is easier. I was talking to my 6th graders. They liked this formula better. It's height times B1 plus B2, and then at the end divide it by 2. Especially since you get to use calculators, this formula is a little more friendly for calculators. So now we have to substitute. All right, something's going to be divided by 2. Well, my height. How tall is it between the parallel lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 5 times something in parentheses. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus my B2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now on this I really am going to put my answer down one more. So the area equals 5 times 14 divided by 2. So in your calculator, because you all know to do the parentheses first, right? You do 4 plus 10 is 14. Now in your calculator, 5 times 14 divided by 2, and you get what? 35? 35 units squared. Okay, any questions? All right, well that's what I would like for you to work on. And then we're going to talk about interior angles in a little while. Now we're going to the next worksheet. We'll finish this one later. Just for those of you watching the video, here are the answers for 4, 18 units squared. 5, you couldn't graph the points in the order they're listed, just do the dots and connect them. You get 30 units squared. And for number 6 is 81 units squared. You can work on the other problems later, but now we're going to talk about missing lengths. Here they are going to give you the area and you have to find the missing lengths. This isn't too hard. This really should be easy for you kids because, as I said, triangles and trapezoids are two-step equations, but you're good at doing that. And they're all positive. You don't have to worry about negative numbers, which is nice. So here, what you're going to do, it says find the missing length, write the formula, show the substitution, and correctly label your answers. Okay? Now, areas are squared. That should be inches squared. Lengths and widths are not. Okay? In number 3, that should be squared behind the yards. Number 7, there should be a little 2 there, and the rest of them are correctly labeled. Now, our formula for a rectangle. Area equals length times width. So you write the formula. That would be worth a point. Your substitution. Replace A with 24 equals 3 times W. Now, we solve our equation. What will undo multiplying by 3? Divide. I know you know the answer is 8, but it says to show all work, and you'll have 8 equals W, and it is 8 inches. Remember, lengths and widths are not squared. They are just plain old inches or feet, that type of thing. Now let's do one with the triangle. In the triangle, the formula is area equals base times height divided by 2. Using this formula is more friendly for equations than the other formula also. So here we have the substitution. Replace A with 36 equals B times 7.2 divided by 2. Right, kids? Now you have to solve your equation. Multiply both sides by 2. That cancels it out. 2 times 36 is what? 72 equals B times 7.2. Now, to undo multiplying by 7.2, you divide both sides by 7.2, and the answer is going to be what?
1.
No, not 1, 10. You have to move it 1, and you'll get 10 centimeters equals the base. You can use a calculator on these. All right, now let's do a trapezoid one, and then I'll let you practice these by yourself. The formula for a trapezoid: area equals the height times B1 plus B2 divided by 2. Now we do the substitution. 259 equals, we don't know the height, B1 20 plus 17 divided by 2. Now, what are we going to do next, class? Multiply both sides by 2. And 259 times 2, 518 equals, that cancels out, H time 20 plus 17 is 37. Now, what's the next thing we're going to do? Divide both sides by 37. With the calculator, 518 divided by 37 gives you 14. So the height is 14 meters equals the height. So on the test, you'll get points for copying down the formula. You don't really have to have the formulas memorized. They will be given to you, but you have to write it down. Points for substitution, points for solving, points for the answer, and points for the label. So don't mess that up. Go ahead and work on this worksheet now. Okay, now we're going to the very back page of our packet for today, and this says Lesson 4, Extra Practice, Polygons and Angles. Now, interior angles of a shape are the angles that are inside. Now, there is a formula to find the sum of the interior angles of a polygon, and you take 180 times the number of sides it has minus 2. So you take the number of sides that the shape has minus 2, and then take that times 180. Now, you should have this memorized, so you don't even have to do the formula. Does anyone know how many degrees does a triangle have? A triangle equals 180 degrees. You need to have that memorized. So when you add up all the angles together in a triangle, it'll give you 180. All right. A quadrilateral has how many degrees? A four-sided shape has how many degrees? 360. It's the same as a circle. It's 360 degrees. Now, if you didn't know, this formula works for that in any shape as if it has sides. Okay? So, let's just use this formula to see if it really does work for a triangle. All right? So, a triangle has 3 sides. So, if I have, for a triangle, that will equal 180 times 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 times 180 is 180. It works for the triangle, doesn't it? Now let's check this for a quadrilateral, a four-sided shape. Okay, this would be 180 times a quadrilateral has four sides. 4 minus 2 is 2. And 2 times 180 gives you 360 degrees. Just like this one gave us the answer of 180 degrees. So this formula is true. See how it works for both of those? Now, what I want you to do right now, and I've shown you the answers for 1, 4, and 7. I want you to use this formula to get the sum of the interior angles. So in a dodecagon, a 12-sided shape, if you added all the interior sides together, you would get 1,800 degrees. So how would you do that? 180 times 12 minus 2. That is 10. So 180 times 10 equals 1,800 degrees. So if you add all 12 of the angles together, you're going to get 1,800 degrees. All right? So what we are doing here, kids, we're taking formulas and applying them to different things. All right? So right now, do 1 to 9. Yes. What? Not yet. Not yet.
I got a question.
Yes.
What do you do number 9 and 8 right?
Now, these are regular polygons, and that means all of the sides have the same length and all of the angles have the same measure. Now, this formula works for all polygons if they're regular or not regular, but this only works for regular polygons. And what you do is this. You find the total number of interior angle degrees in the shape. So, you're going to have 180 times 18 minus 2. That tells you the sum of all of the angles. Now, how many angles does an 18agon have? 18. Divide it by 18. And in your calculator, what do you get? When you take 180 times 16 divided by 18, what do you end up with?
106.
That's right. You should get that. So, that is how you're going to do 10 to 15 on those, the application. I'll give you time to practice on another one of these, and then I'm going to give you the last one, the measure of an exterior angle of a regular polygon.
Wait, how do you get? Oh, I see.
Okay. Keep working, and I'll let you work in groups as soon as I tell you how to do the next round. It's not that one. Where is the one that I had? What? Type it into your Chromebook if you don't know those things.
It's the exact same thing as the zero.
Now, for the last one, last grouping,
Why do we need to know this stuff if like we're never gonna use
everything is formulas. If you work as a mechanic, everything's formulas. Changing tires, there's a formula in how much air pressure you put in each different tire, or for depending on the make and model. There are formulas for taxes. There are formulas in medical fields. Every field has its own formulas.
even a soccer? Formula go follow
In soccer, there's a lot of stuff figuring out what the angles and the force that's applied, and then you have injuries. You have to figure out how to deal with the injuries. Then you also have to figure out the formula of how much to charge each person to be in your group. Then you travel, you have to figure out how much it's going to be per person for the hotel room. There, I could go on and on because we did travel soccer and travel basketball.
I'm going to Tennessee for
So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff involved in those things. She did? Did she play basketball or soccer? Oh, cool. Okay. All right, let me go